In honor of celebrating the summer solstice and Mother Nature, let's see what's happening this week with nature and the signs that I found in my life. The goal isn't whether something is a sign. The goal is to notice what keeps showing up day after day, week after week. Project Mellow is where we learn to notice these things. Here's what caught my attention this week. About halfway through the week, I was like, nothing's popping out. And then by Friday, it was just like boom, boom, boom. And I wasn't expecting these. Like, two of them really caught me off guard. Just an added note here. If you are new to noticing what's going on around you and paying attention and like spending time with nature, it's time to make a dedicated daily or weekly practice of that. Carve 5 minutes out of your day. Look out a window. Where are you? Look out the window. Let's look at what does pop out and what really resonates with you. Or like if you have a dream and you're like, you wake up and you're like, whoa. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Like, you could see a million birds a day and that might not mean anything. But let's say you see like a red bird that you don't normally see and you're like, you feel something here, you know? And that's what we're trying to get to, is like the noticing and noticing when it feels different. Because that's how you know it's a sign, because it feels like a sign. The first thing that just really blew my mind, and I have a thing with rabbits. I'll explain my rabbit stuff maybe at a later time because it involves my kids and like it's just so like symbolic and meaningful to me. And I've only ever seen wild rabbits like a couple of times in my life. But this one, and they've all been brown. But I went to go pick up my kid Friday after work. It was raining. And there was a little white rabbit just out in the middle. It was under a tree. It was just like out in the middle, like eating some grass. But he was white. And he had like black eyes and a black mouth. Because I was like, wow, this has to be someone's pet. And I went and got my kid and I told myself, okay, if the rabbit's still there, I'm gonna go get a video. And so I took my kid and we went over and like got a little video of this rabbit. And it is so cute. But I noted it at the time, I was like, wow, that was a white rabbit in nature in a storm. The other thing that like blew my mind was also white. But I was outside and I'd taken a stick because we went outside and it had been raining a lot. And so the spiders had like come out like crazy. And so I was taking a stick and kind of like removing the spider webs. And I come around the corner. As I'm recording that, this vehicle just drove by really slow and it was a white like SUV. Like I've got goosebumps. Whew, okay. But I was like doing the spider web so we could go outside and play because I was with my toddler. And I come around the corner and this rose bush that when we moved in, it hadn't bloomed, I guess, in forever. And the people had like let it overgrow. And they even said it had been like 5 years since anything. So we went in there when we first moved in and like trimmed it back. And I guess we hadn't been paying attention to it, but this thing had come alive like crazy. There were blooms all over it and they were white blooms. And I've never seen a white rose in person. And I was just like, and that was fall, like that was the day after the white rabbit. And I was just like, wow. Another thing that kind of, not as crazy, but I was driving down the road and I looked down and my odometer said 90999. And I was just like, whoa. And I had enough time just to get a quick little like 3-second video of it. But I was like, wow, that's a lot of nines. And like, I know like the more they repeat, that's like a bigger message. And I'll get into all that in a minute. This is just like what I noticed. When I was at work, I was talking to my coworker and I saw this big, huge black, I thought it was a butterfly in the beginning, but it was a big, huge black moth come floating up and land right where I was like standing. And I'm on the 4th floor of a high rise. I didn't even know butterflies and moths could go that high. But I was like, oh wow. So my coworker and I, we like shimmied up the blinds, and it was just sitting there. And so I started taking a video. And then so she started taking a video, and then everyone's like, what are they doing over there? So that's how my coworkers found out about my YouTube channel. So I do have a video of that coming as well, because it just was like, it was crazy. And then like it was stuck upside down, and I've never seen that either. It's been storming a lot this week. And after one of the stormy weathers, I was at home and I looked out the door, and in my entryway, there was a little bird, and it was like preening, like licking and like ruffling its little feathers, trying to like clean off the rain. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so cute. So I got a little video of him as well. And then one day at work, my husband and I, we worked together. We were going on a little lunch date, and this bird flew down and like landed right in front of us on a no parking sign. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I got a video of him as well. But we walk a little further down to my husband's truck, and there was, the bird flew along with us and landed on another sign. And I was just like, that's so cool. Today, I'm recording this, it's Father's Day. We get some coffee, some donuts, we come back. I go to get out of the car, and where my feet were about to land, there was this big bug. It looked like it was like this big. It was maybe a cicada of some sort. I'm not sure. But it was huge, and it was on its back. So I thought it was dead. But it was white, and I was like, whew. By that time, that was the third day in a row of finding something white. And I was like, okay, this is a dead bug. And it had huge wings, like just crazy cool. And so my toddler jumps out of the car to come look, and we're sitting there looking at it, and then it like flips over and takes off, and it literally scared me. So I did not get a video of that one. As I was talking about the roses, I was going out and like cleaning the spider webs. Well, some spider in our yard within a day had made all of these spider webs from like the house to our porch swing to our holly bushes and back and forth. And it was a crazy amount of spider webs. And so I was over in the bushes cleaning up, and I saw this big, huge green, it was like black and green spider. I don't know, spiders freak me out. Like even right now, I've got like goosebumps just thinking about it. But I was like, I don't know. And so every time I run it off, I go back inside for a little bit, he comes out and like does a whole web again. So I'm like, because my goal is to like run him off so he like goes to another house or something. But he's just not leaving. Now let's look a little deeper. When I look at all of these signs and coincidences, I don't believe in coincidences. Everything I feel like happens for a reason, but that's just me. What was happening when these things happened? There was a lot of storms, which is clearing of energy, cleansing. I wasn't paying attention in some of these scenarios. The spider, I wasn't paying attention to the garden area and the roses. I didn't even know they were there. And like the birds and stuff, like that's ordinary moments that felt magical. And the rabbit, like just ordinary moments that had a little bit of magic. And then also like transitional things are happening here. The windows, entryways, all of that is transitional stuff. Stuff's moving, movement in your life, in nature. Now for the fun part, exploring the symbolism. This isn't a deep dive either. This is just like basic context to get us started, to show you how I'm doing it for myself so you can start doing it for yourself. The white rabbit, new beginnings, following curiosity, paying attention to unexpected opportunities. And in folklore, they appear as guides, leading you into a new chapter. White roses are purity, peace, spiritual clarity, and often in folklore, it's like hope and fresh starts. Black moths are like a sign of transformation, hidden knowledge, moving through uncertainty. Black can sometimes be seen as like negative or like death, or it gets a bad rap, but really it's just like transformation. When things ending, another thing's beginning. Birds preening, which is just, like the ruffling of the feathers, stuff like that. Self-care, preparation, maintenance before flight. Check your engine. That's what that little bird's doing. Getting ready. Birds on a sign. Pause and pay attention. Messages, different perspectives. It was literally on a no parking sign. Could that mean something? Like, don't stop, keep going? Birds in folklore or just general symbolism, they're communicators, messengers, signs of awareness, seeing things from a higher perspective and viewpoint. So that white insect, something becoming visible, something awakening. Like maybe it's been asleep. Maybe you thought this had died off, but now it's wakening up. It's coming to life. The green and black spider, creation, patience, weaving your future. Green specifically can be like growth and renewal and healing. 90999. 9 is all about like completions and endings. Zeros, it's just like something has not yet began. But the 9's repeating, that repetition is like amplifying the energy. So this is like a major, like honestly, 7 years in the making to see this number on my odometer. So a major cycle ending. Preparing for a new chapter. Now that we've explored the symbolism, we can get to the meaning of things. How can we connect it to us? There were so many white experiences with animals and all that, but the white, that's what, like, for me, the bigger picture, white repetition here. The rabbits, the roses, the insect. White is divine. Something in my life is becoming easier to see, and I feel that. My YouTube channel specifically, I feel like this is like I'm being called to do it. I'm putting good stuff out into the universe. It's not just helping me, it's helping others. I did not know that many people were online looking for the spiritual meaning of stuff, just like I was. And like I fought that for so long because I was like, oh, I want to do other stuff too. But then it's like, no, this is it. This is it. In a time of like AI, everyone losing their minds and the stress, it's like there's a calling in here in this little heart. What's the meaning? Like I noticed this thing happened. I experienced this thing, this bird, this animal, this dream, this numbers. What does it mean? It has to have meaning. We're seeking meaning out of all this. We're just trying to dig a little deeper because this can't all be not connected, right? Also with the animals, I've had birds, rabbits, moths, spiders, so many things in nature calling my attention just this week. So what's up with that? It has to mean something. These things are happening in transition spaces. Rain, stormy weather, entryways, windows. I'm leaving work. I'm going home. I'm coming to work. Picking up my kid. Like all these things are happening. The spider weaving its little web. I'm at a threshold, and I feel that in my daily life. And then the other major pattern is preparations. The bird preening, the spider weaving, the rabbit during the storm. These are preparations. These are pausing, creating, not rushing. This is intent. And I've spent the past 3 years doing that with this YouTube channel. Just like the roses, I had to trim it back and keep what was like necessary. And then look, everything's just like blooming. It's blooming. It's resonating and connecting with the people it needs to. And if you're still watching this video, thank you. Here's what I'm going to take from all of that. Keep paying attention to signs. Keep paying attention to patterns. I don't know where the future is going to take me, but I know right now I'm right where I need to be. That's enough about me. Let me know what you guys have seen and experienced this week. Did you have any synchronicities, coincidences, anything that like stood out to you guys? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like a simple way to track your signs and coincidences and synchronicities, you can download my 30-day Noticing the Signs in Nature guide. I have it linked below. Last video I didn't have it. I've created it and I've got it uploaded. It's on my website, project-mellow.com. It's for 30 days with like a monthly reflection at the end. Thanks for watching. Bye.